This season, Colin, the fleet-footed philosopher, and Andrew, the jelly jester, embark on their greatest adventure yet, conquering the original marathon route in Greece. This is Idiots Go Running, Season 3, Episode 1, The Road to Greece.
Colin, we're back. We're back for Season 3. Are you excited about Season 3?
Well, Andrew, of course I'm excited. Andrew, I have, over the past wee week, I've started to get the shakes because I miss the podcasts. I miss chatting to people. I miss just having this fun. And my Instagram misses it.
And, well, Colin, we're just going to get stuck straight into it. We had an idea, or we knew at the end of Season 2, we knew what Season 3 was going to be about. So just tell everyone, if you've seen the trailer, we had a trailer, remember last season, at the end of the last episode, I said, I want to do a wee trailer. I did a trailer. We got it out last week. Colin, what's going to happen in Season 3 of Idiots Go Running?
Yes, we've all seen the trailer. Go on our Instagram. If you haven't seen the trailer, go and have a look at it. But, Andrew, you are all about events. You're all about occasions. You're all about adventure and doing something special. And do you know what?
Not training for it, Colin. I like the events. I like the crack. I like the banter. Not really a big fan of training for the crack and the banter and the events, truth be told.
So I think to all the listeners out there, my one job in Idiots Go Running is to get Andrew excited. And how do you get Andrew excited? In, well, I suppose, 3 ways. You create an event, and you tell Andrew about it, and you book flights to Greece.
Well, that certainly worked for Season 3, because I have never ran I've ran a full marathon distance. I've done an ultra marathon, a 40 miler, and 108 ultra marathon, but I've never actually signed up to do a marathon, 26.2 miles. Yes, I have ran further than that, but I've never, and I've had no desire, Colin. I've said this for years and years, even before this podcast. I don't want to run a marathon. I have no desire to run a marathon. And now I'm going to run a marathon. And where is the marathon? Where's the marathon? The birthplace, Colin. The birthplace of the marathon.
And you know what? I want to give you all the history, all the information of why the marathon is called a marathon and all this stuff. And so it's from Marathon all the way to Athens. And might sound like a long way.
That's in Greece, Colin. That's in Greece.
It is in Greece, Andrew. So we're
flying now.
Going to Greece.
It's so exciting. But when you say about history, are you going to actually teach me about the history of Greece and marathon and running?
I have to impress my Greek friend of the show, Dean Karnazes. So I want to learn a bit of lingo. How do you get by in Greece as a runner? That's the first thing. And second thing is, how did these marathons come about? We love marathons. We love running. But what's it all about? Why do we run? Why do we do it? Well, this season we're going to have the birthplace of the marathon, and we have got guests from 1, 2, 3 different continents, Andrew.
That is unbelievable. So is this going to be a history podcast, Colin? Because I didn't really sign up for a run. I didn't really sign up for a running podcast. Never mind a history podcast. So that sounds interesting. I'll leave you to teach me about history stuff. And you said about guests, because although this is episode 1 of Season 3, Colin, it's not your first. It's my first episode. How many episodes currently, including this, have you recorded of Idiots Go Running Season 3?
Well, we currently have 6. Woo! You can see it on the screen. Also this season, we'll get to that first. But yes, 6. We have 6 guests recorded. And why? Last season, we had amazing guests on. But Andrew, I didn't do the guests justice. The guests were incredible. They've just so much knowledge. And we've started to become friends with our guests on the show, as a bit of a running community, I suppose. So these guests, we've got a guy that flips burgers, just turns up to ultras and flips burgers. We have good old Nick Weston. Nick Weston has a story. He has had some amazing accomplishments. We have a girl from Australia who does triathlons, who really doesn't like running, a bit like yourself, Andrew. It is a necessity to part of her triathlon, and she isn't. As Idiots Go Running, let's bring on people who maybe don't enjoy running but they still do it, Andrew. We have, who else do we have? We have a guy that talks about the Barclays. We have another guy like myself with MS who finished a 100-mile race. Andrew, I'm so excited to share these stories with all our listeners. And this year, we also have our audio files and we have video files. So we're coming to YouTube as well, Andrew.
So we're on YouTube now. This is amazing. There's nothing I love more than a bit of YouTube. Certainly enjoy YouTube more than running, and maybe even while running, as you know, from the treadmill. Yeah. So yes, you can actually. And Colin, I've got a bit of a confession to make. So first 2 seasons we've had audio. Now we've got audio, and if you go to Idiots Go Running on YouTube, you can see us. Hello, if you're looking at us. If not, you can't. Yeah, you can't audio-wise a wave. Audio-wise a wave, yeah. So,
Wi-Fi wave.
Wi-Fi wave. So I was waving at the camera there. And do you know what, Colin? I was actually a bit late for this podcast. This podcast should have started almost an hour ago, and it didn't.
What were you doing?
Well, for 2 reasons. I was trying to get my setup, my whole video setup, but more importantly, why I was even more later was I had to shave, Colin. So I had to shave, because normally you can just turn up on a podcast. You don't need to worry how you look. You can be in your pajamas. You can watch Champions League. I'm not watching Champions League this year. I'm going to be watching Europa League this year. So you'll know if I'm watching football. You know, so it's a bit different. But I thought I can't turn up in episode 1 unshaven. So my wife's been wanting me to shave for a few days, and I thought before jumping the podcast, I thought I need a shave. So that's why I'm a bit late. Colin actually shaved.
Andrew, I think there's another reason. If you go onto YouTube, I'm not trying to hook you onto our YouTube page, but it's at Idiots Go Running on YouTube. Andrew spends more time on Lego and his background. So spot the guy who doesn't run and plays with Lego, and spot the guy's background who does run. Mine's a nice bright white background. And tell us about your background, Andrew. Give us a tour of your Lego sets.
So for those of you that are just listening, I'll try to describe it the best I can. And if you're watching me, well, then you can see what I'm already going to point at. So I'm pointing here. So I've got a Lego DeLorean, which is fantastic in its own right. But my mate bought me Lego DeLorean lights. So about a month ago, I got my Lego kit set up, and now it's got lights. So it's a Lego DeLorean, and you can see it's all lit up with blue lights. Now, on the other side behind me, where are we? This is hard actually when you're trying to point to things. So I've got Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorium, and it's actually my wife's, if I'm being honest, Colin. But I bought her, so she built up the Sanctum Marvel Doctor Strange's house, the Sanctum Sanctorium. My wife built it, and then I thought the DeLorean lights look so good, I decided to buy her lights. And that was about 2 weeks ago. I done some electrical work and got that Sanctum Sanctorium lit up with lights, and now it's behind me. It looks really good. Well, so I think. And then if that's not good enough, folks, above it, I've got 2 parts Star Wars pod racers, and then an X-wing fighter. So if that doesn't make you want it, don't go on to YouTube just to watch me and Colin. No, go to see my background with Lego and lights.
And speaking of your Lego and lights, Andrew, I'm going to tease one of our guest thing. Lego comes into Andrew's Ask Questions, because Andrew Asks a Question is back on the guest podcasts, and Lego makes an appearance in one of your questions as well, Andrew. What else is there to say? Are you still...
Well, just on that note, Colin, we should say once a month we're going to have an Idiots Go Running podcast of myself and you, at least once a month, probably once a month. And then twice a month, probably on top of that episode, you're going to have 2 guest interviews where it's one-on-one, you and another guest. But don't worry, folks, you can still hear me, because I ask a question just like last season. And normally what's happened in the past few weeks is Colin will WhatsApp me, Andrew, the podcast is starting in 1 hour. I need a question. And I'm like, oh, I forgot about this. So I don't really have a question plan. So I'll just bring out my phone. I'll WhatsApp you more or less the first thing that comes to my mind. And I think the original questions, I think I'm the voice of the listeners. I ask the deep questions, the hard questioners that people want to know. And there's we won't spoil it, but there is a Lego question, and there's every question's quite different and unique. And you know what? The great thing is, Colin, I haven't heard these interviews yet. I haven't heard the answers yet. So I'm really looking forward to these interviews coming out. So is that 3 episodes of Idiots Go Running episodes a month then, at least, we're going to be doing?
The plan is to do 3 a month. And I suppose, we've got enough now until the next year, Andrew. So I can guarantee 3 episodes a month until 2025. And there's more news. There's more news, Andrew. There's more news. You're probably thinking, what on earth's going on? So while we have been off, we have been working away, working hard, Andrew, in the background. If you get a chance, go to www.idiotsgorunning.com, where you will find...
like a website, Colin. Is that a website? Is that a new website just dedicated to us?
Just dedicated to us. And do you know what? It's a cool website, works well on mobile, works well on desktop, and it has loads of fun information. You can catch up with Nick's tips are all there. So you can go on and find out if you're doing an ultra, you can go on forever. You don't have to listen to Nick's tips back. You can read Nick's tips. You can listen to them on the website. We also have our guests. I'm going to have an upcoming guest list coming. So I have some of the guests updated there, Andrew, and I just have to add the new guest in. So you can see, if you've been a guest in the show, you can see your face on our website. So, Andrew, I suppose you can tell by my voice this year, I'm going to tone it down a bit now. I am so excited about Idiots Go Running, about the videos, about the audio, and about getting you into another event. That was my win this year, getting you to do another event.
And we will talk about Greece, but just before I do, I would just like to clarify something. When you said we've been working hard, we haven't really been working hard. You've done the whole website. You've sent me a link to it and you said, what do you think? And I was like, looks dead on to me, work away. And you've done the whole website. So while we've been off, you've been working hard. Colin, I've had a few rest days, if I'm being honest. So I haven't worked as hard as you might think. But I'm hitting the gym now. I'm in gym three times a week. So, and you know what? I've expanded. I'm not just watching YouTube in the gym. I'm listening to podcasts, Colin. Audio podcasts.
Just as we get on YouTube, Andrew, I was thinking I'm going to get at least one viewer a week on YouTube, and now you're listening to podcasts more than you're watching them.
So, Colin, season 3, tell us what the plan is, how's it going to look, and we've got a few surprises, and we will reveal them now. So, Colin, tell us season 3, Greece. When are we going to Greece?
We're going in the start of March. Funny story, I went to book flights. I sent them through to Andrew, and Andrew goes, they're the wrong dates, Colin. And I was like, that was a mistake. So, start of March we're going, Andrew, and there's the marathon run, and to make it even more quirky, we'll not reveal yet quirkiness about the run.
When you say the marathon run, we're doing the original marathon route, the birthplace of the marathon, but we're not doing an official marathon, so to speak. So in November, there is an official marathon race, the original marathon they call it, but we're going out of season. It's just going to be the 2 of us, so we're not running with a big crowd, or is it? We're not going to be running with a big crowd. Me and you are going to run the full 26.2 miles of the original marathon route, so it's not an official one, so to speak, but we're going to Greece. It's just the 2 of us, not our families, just us, Colin. And on that, we booked the flights when I was in Spain. You were about to book them. I said, they're the wrong dates. Maybe I should book them. I booked the flights. And then the next day, Colin says to me, Andrew, I'm so excited. I've never been away on a running holiday. And I kind of said, Colin, well, it's only one day we're running. Like, it's not really a running holiday. He goes, no, we're running every day. And I'm like, no, we're not. We're going to Greece for one run. And you're like, I don't know. So it turns out it might be more of a run holiday. So you left that out when you were telling me about all the crack and banter of Greece. So we might be doing a bit more running than just one day. But it's super exciting. And if you anything more you want to share about Greece, Colin?
Anything more I want to share about Greece? Well, did you say about the time span? We're going to be in Greece for 5 probably 3 full days, 5 days in total. Would they be right in saying that? Yeah.
Right, Monday to Friday, so 4 nights, 5 days.
I think I was chatting to, I'll throw Matt Niggs' name in again. I said, Matt, this is going to be, you said running holiday. And Matt goes, Colin, I think you should cut it in half. You should experience both types of a holiday. Andrew's rest day running holidays and your running holidays. So you know what? Like, this event might be maybe us doing the marathon route from Marathon to Athens. But you know what? We were going to get a chance to bring you even more Greek food, maybe people in Greek, maybe people in Greece, so...
And there's old stuff there. There's like statues and like columns and stuff. There's old stuff in Greece that we'll find out about and go down and do a bit of sightseeing.
Andrew, there's going to be one more older thing in Greece. So, last season was a different decade for me, Andrew.
In what way, Colin?
In this season, I'm in a new decade of my life. I'm in my 40s. I am in my 40s, Andrew. So I'm going to Greece.
I'm in my 40s too, Colin. It's a good decade. I've enjoyed my almost 2 years of it. It's treating me well.
So we're going to be adding 2 more old things into Greece, Andrew. Well, we'll not say old, because 40 years old, if anyone who's listening, is the prime of an ultra marathon's life, Andrew. So you are in your prime. I am now in my prime, and hopefully this next event, I'll be able to keep up with you. Do you know the way you finished the last event? You ran further and faster, 2 places ahead of me, Andrew.
Well, I didn't want to say, but in my 30s and 20s and 10s and zeros or something, I don't know what the other bit's called. I didn't do much running, but in my 40s, I did 2 ultra marathons, and I didn't want to bring it up, but yes, I did run 108, and yes, I did run more than you, and yes, I did finish slightly quicker and above you, but it's all good. It's all good.
Well, Andrew, I've got 2 years. I've got now 2 years to catch you, to catch this level. You're an inspiration to me, thinking, my 40s, people think you hit 40 and it's really old. Actually, 40, I am feeling young. And now that I know the next 2 years ahead of me, I'm going to excel like yourself, Andrew. I am looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to being in my prime of my ultra marathon career.
And speaking of which, we're not just doing an ultra marathon, and we're not just doing a marathon this year. You are actually signing up to do the Northern Ireland 108 mile marathon again. Isn't that right, Colin?
Yes. So next year, look, it is a long way away, and there is a plan. There's a plan, and plans can change, Andrew. I write my plans in pencil because something else comes up. You know yourself, we have family, we have life, and that's why that break was so good, to spend time with our family and to reconnect with your kids and spend more time with your kids, and, to not be forced to train as much. Although I did finish 2 marathons during that time with We Run Wild NI. And one was a marathon where one of the organizers, Gillian, did turn 50. So she is in another decade.
That's a different decade again.
So nifty at 50. I have a buckle, which I don't have it here, but I have a buckle, which is nifty at 50. We ran a marathon for Gillian's 50th. And then I signed up to Newcastle Way, which to any American listeners out there, it probably sounds like a Lord of the Rings trail, because you start in Newcastle and you go through Tullymore Forest, and then you go through Castle Welland Forest Park, and then you end up in Murlock Bay. So, it's an amazing trail route. I've never been in a trail marathon before. The elevation was quite steep, quite incliney, as you would call it, Andrew. And that was a great marathon.
Was there a bit of parkour, Colin? That sounds like a place you need to do some parkour.
Andrew, there was parkour, and there was climbs, and there was declines and inclines, and there was trail. And one time, I've got videos of it, so I will get time to edit it and put it onto YouTube. But we went through a place and it was called the Cow Path, or the Cow Field, or the Cow Way, or whatever it was. And I thought, I'm turning into this path. Andrew, it was a big muddy field where you need welly boots to go through, and then you go through this wee gate which is over this water, and then you look in, you're in another field, and you can't actually see an exit to the field. It's a standard Gary We Run Wild NI run. And getting back to that, yes, I am planning to do the Northern Ireland 100 and potentially another 100 miler next year. I could do 200 milers next year, Belfast Marathon, and potentially the run in Athens. That's my running plan.
Well, my running plan is, well, I don't have a plan. If you're a long time listener to the podcast, I have a no plan. So you've done since the break, you've done quite a bit of running, Colin, like a few marathons in there, and you're still running every day.
Well, do you know what? No, because I ran a marathon and then I ran a half marathon. Oh, finished a half marathon, 2 half marathons as well. Sorry, I forgot about them.
Of course you did.
So I ran a marathon and then back to back with a half marathon, and I finished the marathon and my knee was giving me grief, but then I finished a half marathon and my knee then was screaming at me, and then I had about a week or a week and a half to recover to a trail marathon, and by the time I finished the trail marathon, my knee was giving me dog's abuse, Andrew. Absolute dog's abuse. So I'm actually now back at the gym, like yourself, living like inspirational, Andrew. You're inspirational. Back at the gym, working on my strength, getting my legs up to a good strength. So, we've got so much to fit in here, Andrew. Sorry, it's all me. What have you've just been? Have you just been sitting in front of a mic for weeks?
No, I done warm weather training in Spain, so nearly every day in Spain, Colin. I did about 3 miles. I got a pan au chocolat, I got a coffee. It was absolutely fantastic. So I came back from Spain mid-August, and this is now nearly the end of October. And what have I done since? I've went to the gym 3 times a week. I've covered that. But as far as running, I've only actually ran once, and that was on a treadmill in the gym to watch YouTube, and only ran for 1 mile. So in just over 2 months, I've ran 1 mile, and I'm perfectly happy with that currently. And I think my plan is to the new year, go to the gym 3 times a week, maybe run the treadmill once a week for like a mile or 2 if I feel like it, and then I'll start my real training for the marathon in Greece.
Yeah, when you say real training, Andrew, what like?
well, my real training.
What's that? Go to treadmill twice a week?
I don't know, Colin. I've been pushing it like that with more than what I did for the Northern Ireland 100. So I'm not sure, Colin. We'll just see how it comes once the new year goes. So that.
Do you know what, Andrew?
In one of your marathons, I did buy some water. Remember, I kind of crewed you for a wee bit, and I got some water, and I give out water. So, like, I was crewing, and although you're doing people might be thinking, I'm hearing Colin doing 100 milers, but Andrew, what about you? I'm going to go to the Northern Ireland 100, and I'm going to crew Colin and maybe crew some other people. So I'm going to be there, and if you're wondering why I'm not joining Colin on 100 miles, just listen to the past 1 minute of this podcast, and you should understand. I absolutely loved this year's Northern Ireland 100, and it still gives me goosebumps. I still love it. I still think about it. I've still got the buckle. Look, I've got the buckle here, Colin. Now, and I know my picture frame. I won't lie. I haven't really got round to. Obviously, I haven't got round to putting in the picture frame yet. I've still got my number. I've got my top and all. I just haven't got round to it yet. So I really should have got it framed by now, but it's not happening yet. So my focus is in Greece, but not to the new year. And then I'm going to crew Colin and see a different side of things, and I'm thoroughly looking forward to that.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm looking forward to that too, Andrew, because we're all about learnings as well. We can bring people learnings from our mistakes. Our biggest thing that we noticed on the Northern Ireland or 100-mile race, and do you know what? We'll get to it in one of our guest episodes, where crewing is fun. Crewing is great crack. You still meet people and you have the best crack, and maybe you don't put your body through as much as
maybe don't.
The runners.
Maybe you don't run at all. What do you mean, maybe? Of course it's...
Maybe you don't, Andrew. People do a lot of running back and forward, and there's a lot of stress. And we noticed when we were running is that having a crew helps you in so many ways. It motivates you. It gives you someone to be in touch with. It keeps you going to the next spot. You know, in the back of your car, you could have, if you're allowed on the ultramarathon to have access to your crew, whenever you see them, then you have a shopping bag in the back of your car that you can pick stuff that you want to eat. Because sometimes we found we were out in the middle of nowhere going, see if I could have such and such now, or something more savory. The crew gives you that option, and then you run past them and you see them and they cheer you on, and see for them 10 seconds of them seeing you, that keeps you going for, I'd say, the next few hours. And then you'll see them again, and you're going. And it just does. And that's what a crew does. And that's what we learned. And that's why you're going to crew me on the Northern Ireland 100, Andrew. And I am so looking forward to it. And I plan to shave off 10 hours, maybe.
That's a lot of shaving, Colin. That's more shaving than I done 20 minutes ago before this podcast started. That's a lot of shaving off time. And I have to say, the brilliant thing about Northern Ireland 100, although we didn't have a crew, we kind of did in a way, because the organisers, they set up aid stations, but there's people along the way. And there was even, and we've talked about this before, even the people we didn't know, they were offering us stuff from there, but food and drink and ice lollies and different things. And I'm going to do that. People were so kind to us last year. I'm going to be that guy offering people that maybe don't have a crew, or even that do have a crew, I'll bring enough for other people too. So I'm excited. It'll be a different aspect, and it won't be as hard. Maybe get some sleep, and maybe not get woozy. Who knows, Colin?
But speaking about woozy, Andrew, I was at the Gillian's Nifty 50 Marathon. I was also at the Newcastle Way, and I was standing there minding my own business, probably taking a selfie, and a girl says to me, she goes, "Do you know who I am?" I was like going, "Oh, flip, this sounds a bit strange." I was like, "No." And she goes, "I'm the person that gave your brother the dry robe when he was out cold." And it was Karen. Karen was a girl at the Dungiven aid station when you weren't out cold, when you were having a woozy moment and you needed to lie down. She went and got her own dry robe and gave you her dry robe. And that's the caliber of people we're talking about. You'll see her on our Instagram as Karen. I think I've got a whole speech, a whole bit of text about Karen giving you her dry robe. And Andrew, bring a dry robe with you.
Well, I don't have one. But if I did, my wife knows. I could maybe nick hers. But again, that's the caliber of people. And Karen, if you're listening, thank you so much. That small gesture meant the absolute world to me. So I didn't have to lie down on the ground for someone to give up their dry robe. And at that moment, and even looking back, you have no idea how much I appreciated that. So thank you, Karen, for stopping Colin. And I'm sure our paths will cross again, and I'll be able to thank you in person. And then, Colin, should we say there's something else happening in Greece that's like so exciting? We hinted at it on our trailer. Should we tell the folks now what's going to happen?
I have been in contact with friend of the show, Dean Karnazes. Dean, if you're listening,
friend of the show, Dean Karnazes, friend of the show. Of course, he's listening. Take it away, Colin.
Dean. Also, before we start, we've had a guest turn up on our show in a robe, in a bathrobe, because he just listened to Dean. He's inspired by Dean, and he turned up in a bathrobe. I'll let you find out which guest that is. But all being well, if the stars align, if our plans all fall into place, we will be meeting Dean Karnazes, friend of the show, in Greece. And
In person. You know what? We might just be able to call him friend. We might not be able to, I think it'll get to the point where we don't say Dean Karnazes, friend of the show. We'll just say friend Dean Karnazes, or Dean Karnazes, friend. No, it's the first one I said. But you know what I mean? It's very exciting.
Our friend Dean Karnazes, is it going to be our friend? Is it going to be friend of the show? I love Idiot Alpha. I don't know. It's Greek. It's Alpha. It's leader of the pack.
So you've been emailing him back and forth.
Yeah.
You've been messaging him back and forth. He's been so helpful with us arranging our trip. And he said when he was on, if you're ever in Greece, and I think that's the seed that was planted for season 3 way back at the start of this year. He said, if you're ever in Greece, and we thought, oh, that would be cool. And then Colin took it one step further, a few steps further, or several steps further. And he's been messaging Dean. Dean's excited. As Colin says, at the minute, he will be in Greece, and he is willing to meet up with us. And not even that, Colin. Tell us more.
Well, Dean, being the gent of the man he is, I've reached out and I said, is there anyone in Greece, any running legends, other running legends in Greece? I don't want to say lesser legends because that's being really mean. Any other legends in Greece that we can get in our show and talk to us? Is there any running clubs that we can run with? Is there any rest clubs that we can go and rest in? So Dean came up with the idea of, well, he's never done a podcast in a bathroom before. He's ticked that box.
Yep.
Has he ever done a podcast on the run before? He has offered us to come to Greece to run, and we'll do a running podcast. So not only are we Idiots Go Running, we are Idiots Go Running, who has a running podcast with Dean Karnazes. So if all the stars align, Andrew, because, plans can change. As I said, he's a busy man. If everything, that is our plan, to go to Greece and get Dean on the show again. Not only get him on the show, run with him and have a podcast.
Now, I find that so exciting. It's unbelievable. So we're all going to be mic'd up while running. We're going to try and get a camera system while we're running. And the running from Marathon to Greece, no, Marathon to Athens is one thing. But Colin, if we're running with Dean Karnazes, I might have to train a bit because, now obviously you should train to run a marathon, but it's me we're talking about, so I don't know about that. But I will. So one of the days we're running the marathon, but one of the days we're going to be running with Dean Karnazes, and he can run a bit. You can run a bit. I
Do you know
can
what?
run. So I actually need to practice for that. So it will be more than just one run. It will be a bit of a run. So I can't wait. Goodness knows where he's going to take us. He says he might take us in a bit of a tour, but to meet Dean Karnazes in person, friend of the show, to have a podcast with him, audio and video to run with them. What, Colin, did you ever think something like this was possible when we decided just on the spur of a moment to start a podcast? Now look at us. We've got Lego behind us when videoing, and we've got, what else do we have? We've got a website. And we're going to Greece to run the original marathon route. And we're meeting Dean Karnazes, friend of the show.
Well, Andrew, this podcast, I love meeting Dean Karnazes, as you said, but I've also loved everybody that's come up to us and said, "You're the idiots." And you laugh at me. You actually laugh at me. They say, "Oh, you're the idiots." And I go, and their next question is, "Where's the other one?" I'm right here. Talk to me. I'm the idiot who does all the running. Oh, Colin, you're going to be getting some jelly, are you? I don't take that much jelly. It's all about him.
Me, I take a jelly. Colin. I'm a jelly person.
Oh, was Andrew on a rest day the day? No, well, I'm not on rest day. You're running with me. Do you want to run and talk to the main person that starts the flipping show? No, good old Andrew. It's all I get is asked, "Are you having jelly? Is Andrew on a rest day? Why is Andrew not here?" It's like people want to see you on the trails, Andrew. People want to see you out there, and you just refuse to give the people what they want.
So when I was bringing water to the Gillian 5850 marathon event, I brought water and I met Gary, the owner of We Run Wild NI, and he goes, "Andrew, why are you out? Why are you not out joining us?" And I just looked at him and I just said, "Gary, it's my rest day." And he just looked at me and he just shook his head, and he didn't know what to say, but I knew what to say. I was having a rest day. Many rest days again. I've only ran once. That was 1 mile on the treadmill in the past 2 months. So what do you expect? I'm going to tell you what, joking aside, for Greece, I'm going to be well rested, Colin.
we always joke about this. I said Andrew always turns up to the event in perfect condition because he doesn't do any training. He just turns up fresh as a daisy and ready to go. Whereas I turn up kind of broken sometimes, but I still finish it. But look, in all seriousness, Andrew, at least you're honest about running. You're honest about rest days. There's people out there who want to be runners and who try to give the honest advice and do all this stuff, and that's why this relationship works. Not that we're brothers, but also that you're the guy that I love events and I love running, and I'm the guy I just love running, and it's fit and it keeps me fit and it keeps me healthy and all that stuff. Whereas you're the guy that just goes, "I just love running." So there's the yin and yang here, that you're getting both sides of the coin, where people who don't want to run look at him, people who do want to run join me. So Andrew, I think there's a beauty behind the podcast that we just didn't realize that was happening.
It's actually a 3-sided coin, because then the guests come in, so we'll have a 3-sided coin of things, and then they add something special too. So we've got a great season planned, a really great season planned, and I'm looking forward to getting this podcast out. And then, Colin, there's 2 more episodes coming out, and then you'll hear. I don't know what we'll talk about in the next one, just you and me. How my training's coming on, probably not, but something will come up. So, Colin, I think that'll do us for today's episode. Have you got anything else to say in closing?
I suppose our next episode, our first episode or guest episode of Idiots Go Running, will be coming out about a week after this one. and it's with Declan. Declan he loves life, Andrew. He loves life. He created Virtual Run NI, and we first met him, would you believe, at Dungiven aid station. You were out on the floor and I was chatting to him, and he loves running. He loves all events. He does javelin. He does, well, we'll get the story about high jumping, but he creates medals and he creates events for people to do virtual runs. So a really interesting podcast with Declan. So if you get a chance, get a listen to that one.
Who is the next guest after that then?
The next guest is Andy. Andy finished his first 100 miler. He missed his first one. He got his first 100 miler, which is the Yeti 100 over in America. Andy loves cats and he's a vegan, and he has some interesting vegan foods on his Instagram.
And he lives in America, does he? He's American himself.
He's American himself and has a really interesting story. Andy finished 100 miles. He was also diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. He has a really funny story. Once again, a really nice guy, really quirky. And I'm interviewing him, Andrew, from inside a school. He's inside the school, not me.
No, he's inside the school. So it was actually during his school timetable or during his school day.
During his prep period, he came on. And so... yeah, the school interferes with our podcast, but hey, it wouldn't be an Idiot School Running podcast if a school didn't get a shout out.
So it's great to be back. We've had a good break. If you're back listening to us, thank you so much. There's more Matt. There's more Nick. Not in this episode,
yes,
but in our next episode together, which will be episode 4, we've got Matt and Nick coming back, and really looking forward to those guys getting their input. And until next time, Colin, my name's Andrew.
And my name's Colin.
And this is Idiots
Go
Running! And we've still got the AI generated music.
Season 3 now we're on your screen. Video podcast and Lego dream. Original route increase will run with the running legend under the sun. Great to be back with guests on the show. Idiots Go Running Season 3, here we go.
Guess who's back again?